Good evening, everyone. Muslims, Christians, and all those who came to listen. Good evening, dear Professor, Dr. Zakir Naik. My name is Thomas. I am a Christian, and I am delighted to be able to exchange ideas with you today. In a spirit of respect and curiosity, I've been asking myself a question for a long time, and I think it can shed light on this for many people in our interfaith community. Islam allows a man to have up to 4 wives, but forbids family planning. How can these two aspects be reconciled? Why a strict limit on marriage, but a restriction on controlling the number of children?
Thank you, Thomas, for this very relevant question. In Islam, every aspect of life is regulated by principles that aim to protect the individual, the family, and society. Let's start with polygamy. Islam allows up to 4 wives, but with an essential condition: equity. The Qur'an says in Surah An-Nisa, verse 3, "Marry the women you like, 2, 3, or 4. But if you fear you will not be fair, then only one." This permission is not an unlimited right, but a moral responsibility. A man must treat each of his wives justly, both materially and emotionally. If a man is unable to do so, Islam commands him to have only one wife. Now, regarding family planning, Islam encourages the procreation and the preservation of the lineage. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Marry and multiply, for I rejoice to see your numbers increase." This does not mean that contraception is prohibited, but it must be performed with mutual consent and without harming the health of the mother or child, and above all, without any intention of unjustly depriving the family of descendants. The emphasis is placed on respect for human nature and the importance of family life. Thus, Islam limits the number of wives to ensure fairness and family well-being, but it also emphasizes the preservation of life and the importance of children, because every soul has a role in society and in faith. Thomas, you see, the logic is not contradictory. The Quran frames justice in marriage and responsibility in procreation. Everything is based on divine wisdom.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zakir Naik. Your explanation makes everything much clearer. I now understand that Islam emphasizes balance, justice, and responsibility.
Thank you, Thomas, and thank you to all of you, wonderful audience, for being here and so attentive. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, share this video, and leave a comment. Allah Akbar. If this discussion has inspired you now, let's go into a little more detail. You see, many people think that allowing up to 4 women could create chaos in a family. But in reality, this limit is a protection. Why? Because a man cannot fairly manage more than 4 wives financially and emotionally. The Quran sets this limit to prevent injustice. It is a perfect balance between freedom and responsibility. There is also an often overlooked aspect. Polygamy is not intended to satisfy personal desires. In the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, it was also a means of protecting widows and orphans. For example, after major battles, many women found themselves without husbands to provide for them. Islam permitted certain pious men to marry them to ensure their protection and sustenance. This is a process social and moral, not simply an individual right. Now, regarding family planning, we sometimes hear, if Islam limits marriage, why not limit the number of children? It's important to understand the fundamental difference between marriage control and responsible birth management. Islam values every human life. Every child is a blessing, a contribution to society, a future believer who could do good in this world. But Islam does not forbid the use of contraception, temporary and reversible, provided that there is mutual consent between husband and wife, and that this does not endanger the health of the mother or the unborn child. The goal is never to unjustly deprive the family of children, but to allow for responsible management. Let's take a practical example. A couple might decide to space out their births to ensure the mother's health and give each child sufficient attention. This is not forbidden, as long as the decision is made wisely and respectfully. It is not a rejection of Allah's will, but an intelligent use of the means God has placed at our disposal. Thomas, you mentioned that some people find this contradictory. But look at the general principle. Islam frames human relations with justice and balance. Limiting the number of wives prevents injustice in marriage, and the wisdom behind family planning is to protect life and health while respecting the divine plan. In short, polygamy and procreation are not contradictory. One emphasizes justice in relationships, the other responsibility and the preservation of life. And this is precisely what the Quran and the Hadith teach: balance, wisdom, and respect for human limitations. Let's look at another key verse that connects these principles. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 233, mothers should breastfeed their children for 2 full years if they want to perfect breastfeeding. This verse reminds us that every child deserves attention and care, and that planning should never neglect these natural responsibilities. This is a universal principle, applicable to all believers and respectful of divine law. Therefore, in Islam, polygamy and family planning are not opposite. They are complementary when practiced with awareness, justice, and faith.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zakir Naik, for listening to me so attentively and for taking the time to explain these principles so clearly and respectfully. May Allah bless you, dear Professor Dr. Zakir Naik.
Thank you so much, Thomas, for your thoughtful question and your open-mindedness. I also thank you for representing your Christian audience with such respect. And to all of you, wonderful viewers, thank you for following this enriching discussion. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with your friends and family, and above all, participate in the comments to exchange your ideas and impressions.